my friends, to another exciting episode of WWE 2K23. I am your host, Bloody Bill Fox. We are ringside for another brand new episode of Fantasy Warfare. It is a wild time each and every week here at youtube.com/@BloodyBillFox. If you are new to the show, welcome aboard. If you're a regular viewer, welcome back to your favorite YouTube show and mine, WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare. Without further ado, my friends, let's go ahead and waste no more time talking about it. Let's tell you what we got in store this week here in Fantasy Warfare, and then let's go on down to ringside after that, huh? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but let's go ahead and tell you what we have in store for our 6 action-packed matches here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Coming up in our opening contest this week, it will be NXT standout Nikkita Lyons going one-on-one with the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Our second contest of the week will see the current IWGP Women's Champion Mercedes Mone up against Japanese legend Bull Nakano. And then, in our third matchup of the week, it will be the 9th wonder of the world, Chyna, against the undefeated Jade Cargill. Moving along this week in the action, our fourth match of the week will see NXT versus the Hall of Fame as Cora Jade goes up against Lita. And then our fifth matchup of the week will see Trish Stratus, WWE Hall of Famer, going up against the Doctor, Britt Baker, DMD. And then in our main event of the week, War Games makes its debut as the Four Horsemen go up against the Bloodline. And with that, let's take it on down to ringside for our opening contest here this week in Fantasy Warfare.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Las Vegas, Nevada, Nikkita Lyons!
Welcome down to ringside, everybody, for another episode of WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare. Our two opening participants, of course, have entered the ring. The bell is rung. We are underway. Charlotte Flair looking to take the opening advantage over Nikkita Lyons. Gotta admit, I'm not very familiar with Nikkita Lyons other than the general thirst on the internet for her backside. As you can see, the hips and the thighs on big-time display as Nikkita hit that big German suplex on Charlotte. I was about to say Chyna, but Chyna will be in action later on tonight as she goes one-on-one with Jade Cargill. Charlotte Flair driving the elbow into the top of the skull, trying for that knife-edge chop, but she got countered, and then she gets taken down to the mat by Nikkita. Nikkita hits a nice neck breaker down into the cover. Special referee John Cena there for the count. Nikkita taking firm control here this week. Fantasy Warfare, we've got 5 opening matches featuring some of the female greats in the world of Fantasy Warfare. And then, of course, our main event is going to be the debut of War Games here in WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare as the Four Horsemen. The particular makeup being Ric Flair, Sid Vicious, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard going up against the Bloodline. That will be tonight's main event, and we will take it to a special location, the Survivor Series War Games Arena for that one. Our first 5 matches will be here this week in the current venue, and then we'll take it to the special venue. I don't know why I had to say venue like venue, but I did it. Nice move there by Charlotte, dropping Nikkita right onto her tailbone into a cover. Only gets a 1 count on that one. I think it's going to take a little bit more than that to put away Nikkita. She's got a strong spirit about her. She's got a very fierce attitude behind her. I think it's going to carry her a long way as she works her way through the ranks of WWE. Of course, right now out on injury leave in the NXT roster. But here at Fantasy Warfare, she's never blown out a knee. She has never been on this show as well, and looking to start things off in big fashion with a victory over the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Through the ropes and takes the Queen down with a flying crossbody, diving through the ropes. Let's say jumping. Diving was a better word on that one. Diving through the ropes, taking Charlotte down, but Charlotte quickly recovering, sending Nikkita into the ring steps, following it up with a flipping senton right into the lower back of Nikkita Lyons. Referee reached a count of 5 with those two. Charlotte sends her off the ropes with the Irish whip. The two collide in the center of the ring. Got a little bit of that still present. And then a nice neck breaker by Charlotte to reassert dominance here in this one. Dragon screw by the Queen. Ooh, and then rips the leg. Trying to rip that leg almost at the groin where the leg connects to the hip bone. Trying to expand the groin, if you will. Pulled groin is no joke. I've been there. Let me tell you. It may sound funny to say, oh, they pulled the groin. Oh, no. It's only funny in the verbal delivery, let me tell you. It is no fun in the actual execution of having a groin injury. So if Charlotte was trying to injure her groin, she's devious. Downright devious. She tried for that figure 8 as I was going off about groin injuries. She did not get the submission on Nikkita. Nikkita was able to get out of it. Now Nikkita sends Charlotte out. Got her wrapped legs around the head. Nice Hurricane Rana out of the corner. Following it up with a DDT, dropping the Queen down to the mat. Nikkita into the cover. The referee is there, we assume, but we only get a 1 count. I wonder if that one's been fixed. Earlier this week, a brand new patch for WWE 2K23 was dropped, so maybe coming up to some of our future episodes, we'll see a referee again. Natural selection by Charlotte on Nikkita Lyons into the cover. We got 2. And that's all we're going to get on that one, as Nikkita powers through and is able to kick out from another attack at the hands of the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair with an Irish whip sends Nikkita into the corner. Hard forearm shots, drops Nikkita out. Flair heading up to the top rope. Trying for the moonsault. Nikkita moved, but she followed up with a second moonsault. Charlotte impressed, as she should be, into the cover. And that's going to be all for Nikkita, as Charlotte Flair missed the standing moonsault off the top rope, but I'd say it a bit of a tribute to her hubby, Andrade. Following it up with a second moonsault. What an opening contest this week here on Fantasy Warfare. Coming up next, we are going to keep the action rolling and keep it hot, as the current IWGP World Women's Champion will go one-on-one with Bull Nakano. That's right, it's Mercedes Mone going up against Bull Nakano. Coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Japan, the Bull.
Welcome back, everybody, down the ringside for some more Fantasy Warfare action. Bull Nakano starts this one off strong, running over the IWGP Women's Champion, Mercedes Mone, with a hard forearm shot, but the former Sasha Banks is quick to get back onto the offense, taking Bull Nakano down with a display of Lucha Libre before driving the soles of her shoes right into the forehead of Bull Nakano. I don't know how many of you out there follow Botchamania, but when Mercedes Mone first debuted the theme song that she was using here tonight, I gotta admit, I love the video that Botchamania put together, and now every time I hear the theme song, I cannot hear her theme without hearing the little soundbite that Botchamania included. They used a soundbite from South Park where the Canadian Prime Minister character, I believe, was talking about how Canada needed more money. So instead of having Mercedes' voice say money in her theme, they spliced in the South Park guy saying money. So now, every time I hear this theme song, what a devastating DDT off the top rope by Bull Nakano. Got to give credit to where credit's due on that one. Every time I hear the theme, instead of hearing Mercedes' voice, I hear the guy from South Park going, money. So instead of her saying it her way, I hear money. Anyway, I'm all about tangents this week, apparently. A groin pull in the first match, and now we're talking about South Park here in the second match. But don't let that distract you from the fact that the referee has reached a 6 count in this one, but Mercedes rolls back in before we are hitting that 10 count. I always like to tempt the count out and disqualification gods and point out every time we get close that we have still yet to have that sort of finish here in Fantasy Warfare. As you know, it's possible. DQs are possible. Countouts are possible. They just haven't happened yet. DDT by Mercedes on Bull Nakano in the center, but we only get a count on 1 on that one as Bull Nakano rages her way out of that pinfall attempt. Nice power slam by Bull Nakano on Mercedes down into the cover. 1 count is all we get on that one, as Mercedes is able to kick her way out very quickly after that power slam. Nice headbutt by Bull Nakano, dropping the current IWGP Women's Champion. Mercedes Mone making a big name for herself over in Japan presently, where Bull Nakano has made her name in Japan presently. It's a name of the current versus a name of the past here this week in Fantasy Warfare, as Bull Nakano continues her offensive assault on Mercedes. Got her up. Boom, backbreaker baby, stretching out the spine of Mercedes Mone. Got to be careful, though. That placement next to the ropes could leave Mercedes in a great position to cause rope breaks when she's trying those submissions. No submission there, as Bull Nakano just stomped on the lower spine, and as I said it, Mercedes makes a great example of it, breaking that pinfall attempt by grabbing the lower rope, the bottom rope, with her hand, versus even having to put her foot on it to cause the rope break on that pinfall. Bull Nakano learning from it. Tried pulling Mercedes away from the ropes, but it didn't do anything for her, as Mercedes was able to start rolling away, and Bull Nakano having to go back to the drawing board on the offense, and back to the drawing board she is doing indeed, lifting Mercedes from the ground into the press slam and dropping Mercedes down on the mat, into the cover, feet on the ropes. Special referee Cena must not see it. We can't see him, so we can only speculate on what he doesn't see. Another press slam, this time with the power display. Pressing her 3 times, dropping her down. Bull Nakano in firm control right now over the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, or the Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Nice shot to the back by Mercedes. Oh, whiplash on the floor by Mercedes, taking a moment to pose. Hopefully that's not a mistake for her. Bull Nakano choosing to get back into the ring. Looking to break that 10 count instead. Powerbomb attempt, no sunset flip, counter by Mercedes into the cover. Bull Nakano, not even a 1 count, able to break that pin attempt by Mercedes Mone. Straight jacket, neck breaker. Mercedes down into the cover on Bull. We got a count of 1. There's the 2, but 2 is all we get. Kicks to the face by Mercedes, and then just throwing Bull Nakano's face right into the mat. How insulting. Just brutalizing the Japanese legend's face. Hard shot to the jaw, and now she just got her in a straight-up chokehold. Good old sleeper style. Trying to put Bull Nakano to sleep and get the victory here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Will it be? No, it won't. It will not be, as Bull Nakano breaks that hold with a jawbreaker. Irish whip sends Mercedes off the ropes. Nice back elbow drops Mercedes Mone in the center of the ring. And Bull Nakano one more time, deadlifting Mercedes from the mat above her head, press slam style. Drops her down on the mat. All right, hey, if it works, keep going back to it. What the hell, why not? 2 in a row displays by Bull Nakano. Down goes Mone one more time. Stomp to the lower spine. Kick to the elbow. Bull Nakano dissecting the body of Mercedes Mone. Nice stalling suplex, displaying the body to everybody, all sides of the ring, letting that blood rush. before driving her down into the mat. Spine first, that one had to hurt. Mone down on the mat, rising. Boom, big time flying leg drop by Nakano. Could this be all for Mone? She is not moving. Nakano up. This time with a little flair to it. Houston hangover style. Referee into the count, and that will be all. As Nakano gets a big time victory over the current IWGP Women's World Heavyweight Champion, Mercedes Mone. What a matchup between these two. We saw all sorts of great offensive displays from both. But in the end, it was Nakano, there you see it, with the greatest offensive display, getting the win this week. Coming up next, I almost said her name in place of Charlotte's in our opening matchup. Now it's her time to compete in the ring. Coming up next on Fantasy Warfare, it's the ninth winner of the world, Chyna, going one-on-one with the current AEW TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Welcome back down to ringside, everybody. This one should be a hard-hitting display between two of the most powerful to ever step foot into the ring. Chyna with a hard forearm shot to start things off on the current AEW TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Chyna down into the cover. We get count of one, we get two, and that's all we get on that one. Chyna looking to make quick work of Jade Cargill here this week on Fantasy Warfare. Oh, nice power bomb by Jade on Chyna down into the cover. Looking to show Chyna she's not the only one looking to make quick work of their opponent here this week. Jade Cargill putting her power on display. Maybe she was just watching that match with Nakano and said, you're not going to outdo me. I'll show you some power. I'd say the power display is a little more impressive on that one because Chyna's got some weight on Mercedes Mone. Mercedes Mone probably, I would say, guesstimating somewhere between 120 and 130 pounds, and Chyna usually was clocking in around 200, I believe. So a little bit of a difference there. I'd say the power display edge, if Nakano and Jade Cargill were competing, goes to Jade Cargill. Nice belly to belly by Jade Cargill. Another belly-to-belly on the floor by Jade. Putting that power on display. Look at her. Look at her flexing off to everybody here in the Fantasy Warfare Arena this week. Sends Chyna back into the ring. Stalking her around. Kick to the midsection by Jade. Stomp to the midsection by Chyna. And a nice drop kick by the ninth wonder of the world on the current AEW TBS champion. Irish whip sends her off. They collide in the center of the ring. Nice hurricane rana by Chyna. Throwing down the fists on Jade Cargill. Into the cover. We get one, and that's all we get is one. Dropping her down on the outside, tempting those count out and disqualification gods, let me tell you. Chyna with a knee to the midsection sends Jade across ringside. We're getting dangerously close. Jade's at a 9, and Jade makes it back in the ring in time, avoiding the count out loss to Chyna. Nice power slam by the ninth wonder of the world. Boot to the midsection. Jade's got her up. Jade drops her down. Into the cover. We get 1, 2, and there's 3. Jade Cargill with a big-time victory over Chyna here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Maintaining her undefeated streak as if this counts in reality, but hey, what the hell, let's say it counts in reality. She didn't lose here tonight, she remains undefeated. But coming up next, it will be a battle between past and present as NXT's Cora Jade goes up against Hall of Famer Lita.
Is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, Cora Jade.
Welcome back for some more Fantasy Warfare action. It's a battle of past and present. NXT's Cora Jade going up against WWE Hall of Famer Lita in our 4th match of the week this week here in Fantasy Warfare. Still to come, we have Trish Stratus and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And then, of course, our main event this week will be the War Games matchup between the Four Horsemen and the Bloodline. Lita hammering away on Cora Jade. As we said, this is our 4th match of the week. Still 2 to go. It's been a great week this week here on Fantasy Warfare. Our 3rd episode of Season 2. Of course, Season 2 rolls on each and every Friday night. 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here at youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. Bonus dark matches every Monday. We got a great one coming up this Monday, viewer requested on Twitter. This week's dark match, before the cameras were rolling for YouTube, if you will. You know, I'm not there, I don't call the action. Let's put some fancy music over. But our dark match this week will be the natural disasters, earthquake and typhoon, going up against the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Cora Jade drops Lita with a nice running clothesline. Another nice clothesline drops Cora Jade. Both ladies handing out nice clotheslines, and then Lita ups the ante with a hard forearm shot. Snapmare takes Cora over, and then a drop kick to the side of the head. Drops her down good. Lita, I don't know, Lita knew where she was going, what she was doing on that one. Nice maneuver there by Cora Jade. Not quite sure what she calls it. I knew a guy that called that the icebreaker at one point in time. And Hurricane did it. We call that the eye of the storm, maybe. Either way, it's a good maneuver. Drive an elbow to your opponent's sternum. That business hurts. It hurts a lot. Cora Jade driving the bottom of her feet right into the sternum of Lita. Down into the cover. Only gets a 1 count on that one. Stomping away. Cora Jade stalking Lita over to the apron. Hard forearm shot. And another one. And then a drop kick drops the Hall of Famer, but Lita nips right up to her feet. Cora Jade follows her out to the floor. That'll force the referee to reset their count. Ooh, throat first across the bottom, across the ring guardrail. Jesus. This is a real show. I would expect to end up on Botchamania. Lita rolls Cora Jade over into the cover. We get a count. And 2 is all we get on that one. Cora able to get that shoulder up at the last moment before Lita able to get the victory here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Lita playing hopscotch with the ring steps at ringside, which is a bit of an interesting choice instead of being in the ring. But there she goes. Heads back into the ring, answering the referee's count before he got any higher. Cora Jade greets her with a drop kick right to the face. Irish whip sends Lita off. Nice Luthez press by Cora Jade, driving those forearm shots to the jaw of Lita, and then driving that elbow, point of the bone, right into the forehead. Lita's lucky she did not suffer a pressure wound after that elbow to the top of her forehead. Cora Jade continues to stomp away at Lita, boot to the midsection. Nice double arm DDT by Cora on Lita into the cover. We get a count. And 2 is all we get on that one. Cora Jade not able to keep Lita down for the 3 on that exchange. She'll have to dig a little deeper into her playbook. Dig a little deeper into the tool bag. See if she's got something in there to put away Lita for the big-time victory this week in Fantasy Warfare. Nice snap suplex by the Hall of Famer. Boot to the midsection again. Hard shot to the spine. Lita on the apron and back into the ring. Lita a little indecisive this week here in Fantasy Warfare. Playing hopscotch with the ring steps. Going out to the apron, coming back in. Earlier she kind of ran in one direction, stopped, and then did something entirely not related to running. A little indecisive this week. But that, you know, that happens to the best of us. As Lita gets a near fall on Cora Jade. These two fighting back and forth. Lita looks like she's firing up. Oh, nice tope suicida by Lita. I started to have memories that episode of Monday Night Raw where she did that dive at Trish Stratus, except her feet touched her head. Get nervous for her anytime she does that, but thankfully that was a successful run of it for Lita as she sends Cora Jade into the guardrail at ringside here in the Fantasy Warfare Arena this week. Power bomb on the floor. That was disgusting by Lita. Nasty, nasty power bomb. Hard chops. Irish whip. We're at a count of 8, everybody. We're at a count of 9. Count of 9. And Lita breaks that count to go back to the floor and retrieve Cora Jade and send her back into the ring. And, all right, Lita just chilling, walking around. She gonna get back in the ring, maybe? Yeah, all right, there she goes. Good forearm shot by Lita, drops Cora Jade. Snapmare by Lita. Oh, nice drop kick to the side of the head. Lita Salt's could it be? Yeah, it is. Lita Salt by Lita on Cora Jade, down into the cover, and that's all she wrote, folks. Lita gets the victory here this week in Fantasy Warfare in decisive fashion, hitting that Lita Salt on Cora Jade. Well, that wraps up our 4th match of the week here in this week's show. We still have 2 more to go, including coming up next. It will be WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus going one-on-one with the doctor herself, Britt Baker, DMD.
Ontario, Canada, Trish Stratus!
Welcome back, everybody, for some more Fantasy Warfare. It's a Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, going against Trish Stratus, and she starts it off in a furious form with that running back elbow into a one-count pinfall attempt within the opening seconds of this contest. Britt Baker looking to make quick work of Trish Stratus here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Trish Stratus breaking the hold with back elbows. Kick to the midsection. Britt springing off the ropes and drops Trish Stratus with the knee to the face on that one. And then a drop toe hold into a submission. Trish Stratus grabbing and clawing to make her way to the ropes, but it's not happening. So instead, she takes to punching Britt Baker in the face. I mean, hey, that's an effective way of breaking a hold, let me tell you. Britt sent over the top rope and down to the floor. Trish Stratus recently, I guess you could say, returning to her roots. Turning her back on Lita, turning her back on Becky Lynch, and all the fans of WWE, claiming she has not been shown the respect she is due and looking to beat that respect out of Britt Baker here this week on Fantasy Warfare. High-risk attempt by Britt Baker. Caught most of it, knocked Trish Stratus down, but I would argue that Britt Baker took a lot of the brunt of that one herself. But she's not showing that she took that brunt as she just dropped Trish Stratus throat first across the guardrail. But Trish Stratus back up on her feet, slow moving, but she's back on her feet. Irish whip by the Doctor. Catches Trish Stratus with a drop toe hold. Rolls her over into the cover. Super Cena there, but the count, not even a 2 count on that one. Baker rolling it over, smashing the wrist off the canvas. Knee to the back of the skull. Springboard forearm by the Doctor. Britt Baker making great use of the ropes here this week in Fantasy Warfare. We had that springboard kick a few moments ago, and then we got that springboard forearm. Trish Stratus reasserting offensive control over the Doctor. Catching Britt coming in, dropping her down. Nice tilt-a-whirl maneuver there by Trish Stratus into the cover, but Britt Baker kicking out at the count of 1. Britt not to be denied a victory here this week over Trish Stratus easily. Trish Stratus looking to keep Britt Baker down and on the mat. Oh, it's the chick kick. Chick kick by Trish Stratus. Only gets a 2 count off the chick kick. Trish Stratus talking a little trash at Britt Baker. Heading up to the top rope. Baker comes over. She gets hit with a cross body. She took a swing at Trish, but Trish was able to leap into that cross body. No pinfall attempt. Baker counters the forearm attempt with a forearm of her own, and then a jumping kick, I guess you call that one. Going back to that drop toe hold submission. Trish now rolling it over, clocking Britt Baker in the face again. Same way she broke it last time, same way she breaks it this time. Northern Light suplex by Trish Stratus on Britt Baker. Devastating knee to the jawline. Trish Stratus soaking up the adulation of the fans. She tried to stomp, but Britt Baker was already gone. Nice spine buster by Trish. Right into the cover. Excellent flow on that one. But we only got a 2 count. Trish brings Britt over to the ropes. Stratisfaction, could it be? Kapauza. It's the Stratisfaction. into the cover. This could be all. And Britt Baker is able to kick out. Continuing this contest after being hit with the Stratus faction. Oh! Trish up to the top rope. Flying elbow drop, but nobody was home for that one. Trish recovering very strongly. Big time splash in the corner on the Doctor. I don't know how you move out of the way of the elbow and still end up back on the defensive. But that's exactly what has happened to Britt Baker on this exchange. Trish Stratus hit that flying elbow attempt, except nobody was there. Another Stratus faction. That is 2 Stratus factions so far. Could the second one be the charm? No, it's not. Britt Baker able to kick out. Knife edge chop followed up by a forearm shot. Short arm, but it's countered. Britt with a boot to the midsection. Hook in the arms. Oh, gnarly, gnarly. Baker with a hard clothesline on Stratus. Oh, another chick kick. Could that be the final shot that puts away the Doctor? We will find out in the cover. No, it is not. It is not the shot that will put the Doctor away for the victory, and this match continues. Nice swing blade by Dr. Britt Baker. Going for the lockjaw. She's got it locked in. This could be all for Trish. If she can find a way to escape this one, good on her, because that's a devastating hold, and she does. Thought she was reversing it into a pinfall, but she just got herself free from that hold. Irish whip sends Britt Baker up and over the top rope one more time. Trish Stratus dropping the Doctor with a kick to the chest. Oh, nasty spine buster on the floor by Trish Stratus. Kicking that lower leg. Referee reaching a count of 6 as Britt Baker thrown into the ring steps now with the count of 7. Trish Stratus breaks that count at the count of 9. The wild brawling action of this one continues on the floor, I suppose. Britt sends Trish across ringside before rolling herself back into the ring. Irish whip sends Trish off the ropes. Nice side super kick style. Trish with a forearm. Sends her off the ropes. Oh, kick behind, kick behind, kick behind, kick in the midsection. And another super kick. Drops Trish Stratus down to the mat. Oh, hard forearm shot by the Doctor. Running knee in the corner, drops Trish down, got her by her ankles. Whipping her out of the corner. Baker into the cover on Trish. 2 is all we get. What is either one of these women gonna have to do to put away their opponent? Baker going for the stomp. No, it's countered. My goodness, it was countered into a cutter, channeling her inner Randy Orton. My goodness, I can't believe it. Like what? Trish Stratus channeling her inner Randy Orton, getting the near fall, countering the stomp, and then Stratusfaction. Trish Stratus hits the Stratusfaction on the Doctor. And that's all she wrote. Trish Stratus with a big-time victory in a highly competitive matchup here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Coming up next, everybody, is our main event of the week. We are going to take it to the Survivor Series War Games Arena for the Four Horsemen versus the Bloodline. And that one is coming up next.
The following is a men's War Games match. The rules of the match are as follows. 2 teams will be contained in separate cages, with 1 member of each team starting the match. At regular intervals, alternating members from each team will be released to enter the match. The team with the advantage will be the first to have a member released into the match. Once all competitors have entered, War Games officially begins. The match can be won by pinfall or submission. Exiting the cage will result in a forfeit. Now, let the War Games begin! Introducing first, representing the Four Horsemen from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing in at 225 pounds, Tully Blanchard. Representing the Bloodline from Pensacola, Florida, weighing in at 265 pounds, Roman Reigns!
Here we go, folks. Main event time this week on Fantasy Warfare. It is a War Games match between the Four Horsemen and the Bloodline. As you can see, our first two participants are Tully Blanchard representing the Four Horsemen and Roman Reigns representing the Bloodline. Still to enter for the Four Horsemen will be Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Sid Vicious. And on the Bloodline side, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Solo Sikoa. Of course, at the top with the rules, we were told at regular intervals, but of course, it's WWE War Games, so we weren't told the exact intervals, so it could be like 47 seconds, 1 minute and 19 and a half seconds, maybe 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Either way, in regular intervals, folks will be coming out of those pods you can see in the back, behind the fans here at the Survivor Series War Games Arena. Clothesline by Reigns takes down Tully in the second ring. Of course, it is all-out war and battle until all participants have entered this matchup. Once everybody has entered, the War Games officially begin, and then at that point, it's pinfall or submission. Of course, back in the old days, it was submit or surrender. Looks like we've got Jey Uso entering the fray for the Bloodline, so they've got the advantage in this one. Jey Uso sliding a table into the ring here to start things off in terms of getting things going with the weaponry. Jey Uso going right over to the second ring where Tully Blanchard and Roman Reigns currently reside, as Jey Uso knocks Tully Blanchard down with that table. And Jey Uso sets it up in the corner, looking to cause some damage to Tully Blanchard, who desperately needs a member of the Four Horsemen to make their way out to the ring in order to even up the score here. So what are you doing, pal? I hear escaping the cage is actually a forfeitable offense. What are these guys doing? What are they thinking? Well, Roman jumping off at least, but I don't know why you would continue to even try and climb the cage unless that's what you're going to do. Tully thrown over the top rope of the second ring, back into the first ring. What do we got coming down here? It's a little tough to tell with the caging. It's the enforcer, Arn Anderson, entering the fray, so we got the Brainbusters in here. The Brainbusters up against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Of course, as the action builds up, it's going to get tougher and tougher to call here. Which team will be the one that survives in the end? Will it be the Four Horsemen or will it be the Bloodline? As Tully Blanchard takes Roman Reigns down with a nice vertical suplex. Jey Uso drags Arn Anderson over to the ropes as Tully hits a Russian leg sweep on Roman. Jey Uso handling Arn Anderson at the moment. Irish whip by Roman. Nice vertical suplex by Jey on Arn Anderson. Roman Reigns has got a nice cravat lock on Tully right in the center of the ring. Of course, there are no submissions at this point in time. Tully could tap until he can't tap no more, and it won't matter. We still got two from each side, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa for the Bloodline, and Sid Vicious and Ric Flair for the Four Horsemen. But we're about to find out who will be next for the Bloodline. And here comes Jimmy Uso for the Bloodline, and now the Bloodline has a 3-2 advantage over the Four Horsemen here in War Games. Four Horsemen, of course, one of the most legendary participants in War Games, going back to the NWA WCW days. The Bloodline has a little bit of experience in War Games, participating in Survivor Series War Games. in Boston, Massachusetts in 2022. Of course, the Four Horsemen were basically War Games fixtures in the very early days, but it was a live touring attraction. Nice super kick by Jimmy. I'm a bit puzzled as to why everybody keeps climbing the cage wall here, especially since climbing the cage would lead to a forfeit. And these guys are climbing when there's nobody to jump on. So what are you doing? What are you thinking? By Tully Blanchard. We had a side suplex by Jey Uso on Arn Anderson as the Bloodline is taking firm advantage of the advantage. As Tully Blanchard, though, continues to fight for his team, dropping Jimmy with a pile driver and then clocking Jey with knuckles to the nose. Excuse me, everybody. Not even sure if the microphone picked that up, but if it did, my bad. Had a quick hiccup. Trying to fight it off for a couple of moments. Now that it's out of the way, we should be good to go. As Sid Vicious came down there to ringside and grabs another table. We've got two tables, but Sid is not done. I think Sid also grabbed a sledgehammer from under the ring. Sid is still not done. That boy is just going after every single weapon under the ring here at War Games. We got a sledgehammer. We got a table. Looks like he brought in a kendo stick as well. Sid Vicious bringing all the hardware into War Games. So we still have one more man for each side to enter War Games before this match officially begins, as crazy as that sounds. As we have tables and kendo sticks and sledgehammers all over the ring here. Yeah, the match doesn't begin until Solo Sikoa and the Nature Boy Ric Flair both make their entrance in the coming minutes. And here comes Solo Sikoa, which puts the Bloodline at full strength. Oh my goodness, down off the top of the cage comes Jimmy Uso. Poor Arn Anderson on the receiving end, or was that Tully Blanchard? I can't tell, we're taking such a wide shot here. Solo Sikoa has entered, the Bloodline is at full strength. I believe, actually, that was Tully Blanchard who felt the wrath of that splash from the top of the cell. Top of the War Games cell. Sid Vicious dropped across the top rope. This second ring is completely filling up here. 7 out of our 8 participants all in the same ring. Jey Uso. Hits an Uso splash. The Bloodline are dominating the Four Horsemen at this very moment in time. It is not looking good. Another Uso splash. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and, well, Sid Vicious got back up to his feet, and Tully was just brought back up to his feet. But for a moment there, all 3 of the available Four Horsemen were down on the mat as the Bloodline was dominating. And the Bloodline continues to dominate as the Nature Boy Ric Flair makes his way to the ring. The final entrant in War Games officially begins. There's the bell.
Officially begun.
Yeah, sure, ring announcer. I got to it way faster than you did. Pinfall or submission. If you escape the cage, you forfeit. So if you see anybody running out of the cage, that means they give up. They can't take no more. They're calling it quits. They're going home. Table shot by Solo Sikoa drops the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Table shots everywhere. This is insane. Absolute wide shot, bodies flying everywhere. We got a table being picked up by, it looks like, Jimmy Uso, but he dropped the table. Roman Reigns just got dropped by Sid Vicious. Tables flying. My goodness. Which team will be the one that survives War Games here? Both teams at full strength. The Four Horsemen needed that injection of energy from the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And it seems as though he's done exactly that. Solo Sikoa on top of the War Games cell. What the hell? Oh my goodness. Nobody home for that one. Tully Blanchard moving out of the way and now attacking Solo Sikoa after he missed that big splash. We get a pinfall. We only got a 2 count. Superseded the referee there for that one. Jimmy Uso yielding a steel chair, going after every participant in this War Games matchup. Jimmy Uso on the top rope, hits the Uso splash. The Usos have been devastating with the splash here in War Games, and Roman hits the Superman punch on Ric Flair. Only a 2 count on that one. Flair able to kick out. Another Uso splash. We got Tully Blanchard and Jey Uso in the second ring, brawling it out. Jimmy Uso just took down Sid Vicious. The Nature Boy Ric Flair broke up a pin attempt before we could even get to a 1 count. Roman Reigns sent into the second ring by the Nature Boy. Roman's got Flair. Nice DDT as Jey Uso sets up a table in that second ring. Sid Vicious work it over Solo Sikoa, who sweeps out the leg though. Tully Blanchard down and out. Oh, devastating kick by Jimmy Uso on the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Hip toss neckbreaker. Near fall in the first ring by Solo Sikoa on Tully Blanchard. Sid Vicious has Solo up. What's he going to do with him into the corner? Throws him like a sack of potatoes. Flair gets draped over the top rope. Nice Samoan drop. Into the cover. We've got a cover in the ring. And that's all. The Bloodline wins War Games here this week. In fantasy warfare, it was an all-out, war between the Four Horsemen and the Bloodline. But in the end, it's the Bloodline who gets the victory, winning War Games, establishing dominance. There you see the final Samoan drop. It was Jey Uso getting the victory for the Bloodline. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare. Be sure to join us each and every Friday night for another brand new episode. Look at that dominance. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you at ringside.